Hello everyone and welcome to the one-stop co-op shop. This is Colin and today I'm going to do a playthrough of Endangered, but we're going to do the expansion, New Species. I'm doing the elephant scenario. There are 6 more scenarios with this expansion, totally worth it. There's also one new character that you can play, the celebrity, and we're going to play with her. The expansion also comes with new ambassador cards, so I've shuffled those in. And then technically, the game actually now comes with a policy change variant, which I'm not going to play with. And it also has a small campaign mode that I'm not going to play with, but that's really cool. You can actually put together a total of 5 scenarios. You're trying to win 3 in total. If you lose 3, you lose. And each time you win, you make the next scenario harder. And each time you lose, you make the next scenario easier. Really a cool way of doing it. I'm really happy that they included that in this game. So without further ado, let's jump in and setting up this specific scenario. We'll look at our characters and we'll jump into our playthrough. If you'd like to see the 2 that come in the base game, the otters and the tigers, check out the description below. I will have links to those videos. Let's do it. The board has been placed on the forest side, and we've added 15 elephants to the board in this specific pattern. We have 3 in the supply, you can see that, and we have a total of 24 deforestation tiles. That sounds like a lot. That's all of them in the game, but they're going to go quick, and you're going to see why. Some special rules for this scenario. Each elephant is either wild, so in a space without deforestation, or captive, in a space with deforestation. Therefore, when you start the game, all 15 are considered wild. When deforestation is added to a space with an elephant, that elephant is actually not lost, instead it's captured and becomes captive. If more than 1 elephant is in that space though, all but 1 of the elephants are lost, so you can only capture 1 elephant. If there are ever fewer than 2 wild elephants, we lose the game. So even if I have captured elephants on the board, and that's all that I have, I lose the game. So we gotta watch that. Ambassadors that count animals will also ignore captive animals. A captive elephant can become wild again by removing the deforestation from its space, or by moving it from that space. And elephants may never be moved into a deforestation space. Actually, in my practice play, I almost wanted to do that, and you'll see why when we play, but you can't do that. And that means that you can't protect them that way. And then cards referring to animals can affect captive elephants. So if I have something that can move an elephant, from how I understand it, I can actually move them out of captivity. Maybe one of my 2 characters sneaks them out of captivity. Just so you know, that's at least how I understand it. The regular offspring rules are used, so what that means is you look for mating pairs, add 1 to that, and then you're going to roll the orange die, trying to roll that number or less. If you do, one of the mating pairs has a baby that you have to place in an adjacent empty space. Destruction rules are different. Roll for destruction, as described below, until 3 tiles have been placed, and that's each turn, you guys. Or an elephant is captured by a placed tile, whichever one comes first. Roll both dice to place that deforestation tile. The orange will indicate the row and the black will indicate the column. If the target space already has a deforestation tile, move the new tile 1 space at a time in any direction that you want, as many times as you want, until it reaches a space without a deforestation tile, and place it there. And then finally, we have normal, hard, and critical. I'm going to tell you, I lost on normal. I'm likely going to lose, which is terrible because I love elephants. Elephants are one of my favorite animals. That's why I wanted to do this scenario. So we're definitely going to play on normal. Whenever you complete a destruction phase, so that means rolling those dice, whenever we complete that phase without an elephant being captured, so that means we rolled 3 times and those deforestation tiles that did not get placed on any location that has an elephant, then we can add 1 influence to an ambassador. When you play Endangered, you have to play with a minimum of 2 characters. So we're going to play as 2 different characters, a zoologist and a celebrity. Now, if you've seen any of my Unsettled playthroughs recently, I have been using Chad and Sophia. I'm going to use the same names. So this is Chad. Chad was just recently on a different planet, and now he's back on this planet trying to save it, realizing just how great Earth is. And how we're going to do that is by trying to save the elephants. So Chad here could have chosen multitudes of different abilities here. There's, I think, now 4 of them. He decided to choose Reintroduction to the Wild. Once per turn, on his own turn, you may remove 1 influence from an ambassador to add 1 animal to an empty space adjacent to a mating pair. Super helpful because you're going to see poachers are going to take our elephants. I don't like poachers. Over here, it tells us that we get to start with this specific card in play, and that is Volunteer. So this is an action card, so we're going to place it where the other action cards will go. It states we can discard both this Volunteer card and one active persistent impact card. That's going to be super helpful. In this scenario, we start with no money, so we'll simply draw the top 2 cards of our deck, and we're going to start with Mating Habits, so it's another action card. Add 1 animal to an empty space adjacent to a mating pair, and we have Adopt an Animal. Discard a card from your hand, then move up to 2 animals up to 2 spaces each. Nice. Here we have Sophie. Sophie is a bit of a celebrity because she's gone to all these different planets, and she comes back here trying to save the elephants. So her ability is giving back to the fans. Once per your own turns, if you pay a money cost for any reason, you may choose another player, like Chad, to draw a card from their deck. Sweet. We also will start with Go to Work out in play, and that's going to be an action card as well. This one we can place one of our dice here to simply gain 2 million. And I'm going to tell you now, Sophie is going to be the moneybags gal. She'll be looking for money to be able to utilize it and help us get some of that influence. We're also going to draw 2 cards from the top of her deck. So these are her 2. She has Environmentalist. Pay 1 mil, and this is a one-time action. Pay 1 mil, then pick another player. That player searches their deck for any 1 card and puts it into play, then shuffles their deck. And we also have Research. Reveal the top card of the impact deck, then discard it or put it back on top. We have our 6 ambassador cards all set up, 3 random blue, 2 random green, and 1 dark blue. And of course, our 2 cards that start out into play, I've placed over here by our action slots. Okay, with that, I think we're ready to start the playthrough. So what we can do, we're going to start with Chad. We're going to place Chad's marker here to denote that he is activated. After he goes, Sophia will place hers on here, and then this will slide down. Remember that in a 2-player game, we have 9 years, up to 9 years, to be able to get 4 of these ambassadors to say yes for helping us save the elephants. There will be a vote in year 8 as well as year 9, so if we can get it done by year 8, great. If not, we have until year 9. All right. Oh, one other thing. I do have my impact deck. I do not like this deck at all. This is the deck of all the bad effects that's going to happen during the game, and I have the specific elephant one just shuffled up and ready to go. All right, Chad, let's roll your dice. We'll roll them up, and we have a 4, a 5, and a 6. That's actually terrible to start with, because if you remember how this game works, whenever I place my dice out, they're going to stay out there until the beginning of my next turn. And if I have a die on an action spot, Sophie can only put a die on that same space if it's 2 higher than the die that I rolled. So literally, the 2 places that we go with those 2 dice, she will not be able to go to. If I place this 4 somewhere and she wants to go there, she has to roll a 6. But there's nothing I can do about it, so we're just going to deal with it. There is one exception to that, and that's the social media campaign. There's no limits, and you can put as many dice as you want here. Normally, when it's your turn, you can only place 1 die on 1 action each, so I can't go to an action 2 times. I can do that here. For Chad's first action, we're definitely going to do the relocate here. We can move 1 animal 1 space. Remember, it's only orthogonal, not diagonal. We're doing that because right now we have no mating pairs. So there's no way for us to have new babies, new elephants, until we get some of them in the same space. Also, if we're rolling that deforestation dice 3 times, the less spaces we have that have elephants, the better, the more likely that we're not going to have any of them captured. These 2 elephants look like they really like each other, so let's put them in the same space. And I don't love this because it's going to block Sophie, but I do think I'm going to play a die on plan. Remember, it's a 5, so there's no way Sophie can play a die here, but he's going to be able to play 1 card from his hand. I feel like this card is too good to not put out. Chad's going to place out Mating Habits. Add 1 animal to an empty space adjacent to a mating pair, basically helping them make more elephants. That's now an action slot that anyone can use, which is kind of nice. Our final action, we're simply going to go to the social media campaign, gaining $1 million because we don't have any money. Chad needs some money just in case. After doing the action phase, we'll move to that offspring phase. Rolling, we have 1 mating pair plus 1. If I roll a 2 or a 1, we get to place out a new baby elephant. Let's see what we get. We get a 5, so no babies this time. Now we're going to roll for destruction. We're going to roll these dice up to 3 times. So our first one is row 4, column 3. Row 4, column 3. Ah, that captured an elephant. Since that captured an elephant, we don't have to roll anymore, but that means we don't get to add that free influence that I was hoping for. Now let's draw our impact card. We'll draw that top card, and we have urbanization. Place a deforestation tile on a space that has at least one wild animal. I think I'm going to place this one here. So unfortunately, we now have 2 elephants already captured, and we haven't even finished year 1. Chad will then end his turn by drawing his card, and he has a go to work card. We can probably get rid of that one because we already have go to work out. Now it's Sophia's turn. We're going to place this here. It's her turn for year 1. After she goes, we'll move to year 2. She's going to roll her 3 dice, and she has a 3, 3, and a 4. Sophie has a lot of specific cards that allows her to do stuff with money. So the first thing she's going to do is go to work. She'll use her 3. That will gain her 2 million bucks. Then I think she's going to help with the mating habits. She'll use her 3 die here, and she can add 1 elephant to a space that's adjacent to a mating pair. We'll place that elephant right here, and then I think our final action will be to also go to the social media campaign. I think we're going to take the card draw. And we draw, let's see, we draw canvassing. Oh, that's awesome. This is what I was looking for. We can pay 3 million to add 3 influence to 1 ambassador. We still only have 1 mating pair, so for our offspring phase, we need a 2 or a 1. How about a 6? That isn't going to work. No babies in year 1, except for with the mating habits. All right, now we'll do deforestation. We'll roll. We've got a 6 and a 5. Well, that's going to capture another elephant right off the bat. Yeah, so you can see at the beginning, it's really hard because the elephants are all over the board and you're randomly rolling for deforestation. Later on, we can maybe try and bunch them up, but I've got to get more animal movement in order for us to do that. Our impact phase will be next. Let's flip this over, and we have environmental ignorance. Remove 1 influence from each ambassador that has at least 1. Ha! That one, by the way, killed me last time. The only advantage of having that happen now is I have no influence yet, so that does absolutely nothing. And that was an instant impact, so we'll simply discard it. We'll then end Sophia's turn by drawing a card, and she has the non-for-profit card. I love this card. Look at this. It's a continuous card. Immediately before any player uses an action that adds influence, and it's any player, so it's even yourselves, you can pay 1 million to increase that influence by 1. So if she, let's say, was able to add that 3 million or the 3 influence because of canvassing, she could spend 1 more million to add 4 to 1 card. That's awesome. We've now completed year 1. Let's slide this down to year 2. I'm going to leave Chad's marker here because he's going to go next. We're going to remove his 3 dice and give them a good old roll. We have a 2, 3, and a 1. That's much better than a 5, 6, and a 4. Wasn't that what I had last time? The first action we're going to take is the plan action. We're going to use a 1. So Sophie, as long as she rolls a 3 or higher, should be able to still play a card, which I really want her to. We are going to play Adopt an Animal. Discard a card from your hand and then move up to 2 animals up to 2 spaces each. And I don't know about you, but I feel like that's a great action for us to do next. We're going to discard the only card that's in our hand, Go to Work. We already have Go to Work out, and we'll let Sophia deal with getting money. We're going to deal with helping the animals. We can move 2 animals, so I'm going to move this one 1, 2, and I'm going to move this one 1. Awesome. I just got 2 of my elephants out of the captive areas, which is great, and I now have 3 mating pairs. Should we do 1 more mating pair? I think so. Let's relocate 1 more elephant. We're going to move this elephant out of captivity with this one here. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 total mating pairs. That means we need to roll a 5 or less now for the offspring phase, and we just rolled a 5. But we rolled a 5, so we can place out another elephant. Let's place that elephant right here. Great. Now we can roll for deforestation. So we have 5 and 4. Oh man, we just lost one of our mating pairs. We will still have 1 captured, but unfortunately the other one was lost. Bummer. Let's then draw our impact card, and we have my least favorite one, poachers. So this is going to have an immediate effect, and then it's going to stay out until something happens. You can see here, discard all other active poacher cards. There aren't any. If a poacher card was discarded this way, then lose 4 wild animals. If not, then just lose 2. So this is going to stay in play, and we're going to lose 2 elephants. We'll lose this elephant because he's all alone, and probably this one. Chad will then end his turn by drawing a card. He now also has research in his hand. Actually, that's his only card. And then Sophie is going to go next. We'll grab her dice. We'll place her token here. We will roll up her 3 dice. We've got a 4, 1, and a 3. Our first action, we're going to go to work. We're going to gain 2 more million bucks. We have 4 million bucks now as Sophie. We're then going to play our 3 here. It's 2 higher than Chad's 1, and we can play a card from our hand. We're going to play Canvassing. And I find it really hard not to immediately do this when I can. We're going to use our 1 here. We're going to spend 3 out of our 4 million. Now, I don't have my non-profit out, so I can't place 4. I debated waiting around, but time is precious. So we're going to get 3 influence on one of the ambassadors because I haven't flipped any of them yet. Remember, how you win this game is you need to convince 4 out of the 6 of these ambassadors to say yes at the end of year 8 or the end of year 9. So I think I'm just going to pick this one. We're going to flip it over. We have Australia. This is one of the new ones. We'll need to check our discard piles, and for every instant card that we have played that's in our discard pile, or if we've just discarded it, plus the influence that's on the card, which is going to be 4, we need to have a total of 8. So right now, with what we've placed here, we'll need to have 4 instant cards in our discard pile. And you can see here, that's one of the new ambassadors. Oh, and I wish it was 4. It's not 4, it's only 3. Sorry, I was hoping that I could spend that million to get that 4th one. Can't do that yet. We've completed our 3 actions. We have 1, 2, 3, so +1, which is 4 for our mating pairs. And we rolled a 4. That means we do have a baby. Let's put this baby here. Now let's roll for destruction. We have a 1, 6, which is our first time that we haven't immediately captured an elephant. Our second roll is a 6, 1. That's also okay. Okay, come on. Do one more nice to me. Don't capture an elephant. We have a 4, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that spot already has 1 on it. So we can move either up or down or left or right. We're definitely moving left. That means we have now placed 3 destruction tiles and none of them captured an elephant. Yes, so we can put 1 influence on any one of the ambassadors. Let's choose this one this time, and we have Brazil. Oh, we roll 1 die. If the result is 6, we succeed, but we get to add +1 for each influence on here. So now, because I have 1 on here, we only need a 5 or a 6 to be able to get Brazil to say yes. And now it's impact time, and we have poachers. Oh, that's terrible. So we have the poachers that's already out in play. We're going to discard it, which is good. But that means now this card is going to have us lose 4 wild elephants. 4 is really brutal. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, ouch. That hurt. We'll then end our turn by drawing a card. We have protest. Good. That's going to be a way we can get rid of destruction tiles, because eventually we're going to need to be able to do that. We're going to move to year 3. It's going to be Chad's turn. Let's grab his 3 dice, and let's give him a roll. And he has a 3, 2, and a 5. And wait a second, before I forget, we have give back to the fans. Once per your own turn, if you pay a money cost for any reason, which we did, we paid 3 million, we get to allow another player to draw a card. So our zoologist, Chad, will draw, go to work, another card we can discard. Chad seems like the volunteer type, doesn't he? He's definitely going to do this volunteer action. Now he has to discard both this volunteer card, so we're no longer going to have that as an action space, but we can also discard 1 active persistent impact card. We may not be able to stop the poachers from taking 2 wild elephants from us every time that card comes out, but let's have it so it's not 4, shall we? Let's then adopt an animal. We're going to discard that go to work card again because I already have that out. And we are going to be able to move 2 animals up to 2 spaces each. Let's move this elephant here so we have another mating pair, and this elephant here. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total mating pairs, which means we're guaranteed to have a baby at the end of this turn, which is actually really nice. We do have 1 still unfortunately captured. Finally, let's help them with some mating, shall we? So we can get some more elephants out thanks to those poachers. Let's place that elephant here, and that will end our turn. Let's now roll. Well, we're guaranteed for our offspring. Well, that's a 1. So we're going to be able to place another elephant out. And let's place that one here because hopefully I can get those 2 together to be a mating pair. Okay, now deforestation. 3 times. We've got a 1, 5. We're definitely good there. That would be here. Second roll. We have 3, 5. 3 and 5. Oh, we're still good there. Come on. Third one. Be good. Be good. We've got a 3, 1. We're not. Oh, just captured that new baby elephant. So that means no influence. We'll draw our impact card. Then we have trade regulations. Lose all captive animals. If 2 or more animals were lost this way, you may discard an active persistent impact. We are going to lose 2. And of course, I spent an action to get rid of... I spent an action to get rid of one of those persistent impacts. I didn't need to if I knew that was coming. That means we're going to lose that baby elephant and this one right here. Okay, our last thing we get to do is draw a card, and we have protest as well. So we also have a way to get rid of deforestation. I'm going to need to do that soon. I still have quite a bit of them here, but they're going to add up real quick. Sophia is next. We'll place her marker here, grab her 3 dice. Let's give them a roll, and we've got a 6, a 3, and a 4. We're going to have Sophia go to work, gaining 2 million. That means she now has 3 million bucks. Our second action, we're going to use our 4 here to play 1 card from our hand. We're going to play that non-for-profit. So immediately before any player uses an action that adds influence, I can pay 1 million to add 1 additional. Now, I'd love to be able to do that this round, but I only have 3 million bucks. I'm going to go here. I'm going to spend all 3 million bucks. This is also going to allow our zoologist Chad to draw a card, and he draws Signed Petition. But I can now place 3 influence on any 1 ambassador. Let's pick this one, shall we? So we have India. We have mating pairs plus however much influence, which right now is 3. It has to be a total of 7. Well, right now, that actually is really good. I've got lots of mating pairs, but we'll see how that goes at the end of the game. And remember, I had to spend all 3 million, so of course, Sophia is penniless now. Moving to the offspring phase, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total mating pairs, plus 1 for our roll. I don't even have to roll. We're going to place our elephant here. We had a baby. Now, though, we have our destruction phase. We're going to roll a 1, 5. Well, there's already 1 there, so we can place a deforestation tile here. Second roll is a 1, 2. Oh, that's going to capture the one that we just placed out. Oh, I need that influence so bad. Let's draw that impact card, and we have must. Ambassadors with 0 influence on them will always vote no in voting years, even if their criteria is otherwise met. Okay, that one, I mean, it stinks, but there's worse ones. We'll end Sophia's turn by drawing a card. She has adopt an animal. We'll then move this down, remove her token. We'll pick up Chad's dice, and let's give him a roll. He has a 2, 2, and a 2. Chad would have loved to play a card, but of course, Sophia's blocking that. He only has 2s, and she's got a 4 there, so that isn't going to work. We're going to place a die here to add 1 animal to an empty space adjacent to a mating pair. We'll place that elephant right here. We're then going to use the adopt an animal, discarding this card, research, from our hand so that we're able to move up to 2 elephants, 2 spaces. We're going to move this elephant, 1, 2, and then this elephant we can move 1 into here. There's nothing that says we can't have 3 animals in 1 space. It's just there's only ever a mating pair here of 1, so I can't have 2 mating pairs in 1 space, so to speak. I'm also just trying to bunch them up, so it's more likely that I will not roll them for the deforestation. I just have to hope I don't roll a 2 on this orange die. If we look at the board here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 mating pairs. That means we're guaranteed to have an elephant. So let's have that elephant right here. Sure. Now we'll do deforestation. No 2s on the orange die. Oh, we have a 1, 5. We'll move it from here down to there, so we're okay. Second roll, we've got a 2, 2. Seriously. Oh, I mean, I guess they know where the elephants are, so we're going to capture 1 of those elephants, and 2 of them are lost. And you know what? I totally missed placing a 3rd die, so I'm going to make this easy. I'm going to say Chad went and did a social media campaign. Yeah, he's a zoologist. He's not great at it, so he at least gains $1 million. That gives him his second $1 million. Moving to the impact phase, we'll draw, and we have lose all captive animals. I think there's only 1, so that isn't terrible. And then we'll have Chad draw a card for the end of his turn, and he gets canvassing. There is only 1 elephant captured. Of course, that's the space I put 3 elephants. Why would I do that? Okay, now we're going to have Sophia go. We'll grab her 3 dice, give them a roll. She's got a 6, a 3, and a 2. Sophie is going to start by going to work, because you know she loves doing that, gaining $2 million. Then she's going to spend 1 to play a card from her hand, and she's going to play her Environmentalist. This says pay 1 million, then pick another player. They search their deck for any one card and puts it into play, then shuffle their deck. Well, we're paying a cost, so that first means that Chad gets to draw a card, so he's going to draw research findings. Then we're going to find a card in his deck and put it out into play for free. We're definitely going to play Recycle. This card is amazing. Pay 1 million to draw 1 card and play 1 card. Sophie's final action is just going to be doing that social media campaign. That'll put her back to $2 million, but that means next time as she goes to work again, she'll have enough to do canvassing with placing 4 influence on 1 of those ambassadors. I like it. For our offspring phase, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that means we should be able to have a baby no problem. Now it's deforestation. I need to start worrying about that. We have a 1, 4. Well, the only one here that I really want to do is this one, but now all 1s is not good either. Let's roll here. We've got a 4, 2, so that's here. I can place that one here. Come on, come on. Be one that I don't have an elephant on. It's a 3, 6. We're good. But we're running out of destruction tiles. This is how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 left. But we do get to place 1 influence because none of the elephants were captured. Let's choose this one, and we have Bangladesh. Number of dice on starting actions plus the influence that's on there equals 8. Whoa! That one would be a lot easier with multiple players because you'd have a lot of dice that are on there. For 2 players, that's going to be brutal. We'll then draw our impact card, and we have poachers again. So we're going to lose 2 elephants because I don't have another poacher card out, but now this is persistent. So we're going to lose 2, and then we'll draw a card, and we have a podcast. That's a one-time effect. Each player may reclaim 1 of their dice from an action. Cool. Well, I think that means we just lost these 2 babies to poachers. Great. Now we're going to move this down to turn 5. We're going to grab Chad's dice and give it a roll. Let's see, we've got, can you see that? A 1, a 4, and a 6. Chad is going to start off with a social media campaign. He's going to gain $1 million. That means he now has 3. He's then going to use all $3 million so he can place 3 total influence on 1 ambassador. But then, thanks to Sophie's non-for-profit, she'll also spend $1 million so we can actually move that to 4 influence. That's what I like. We're going to place 4 influence on Japan. This is total cards in hand, so that's all players plus the influence that's there. So we already have 4, so that would mean we need a total of 12 cards in hand to make that one successful. Our final action, we are going to plan, and we're going to play protest. We need to be able to start removing some destruction tiles on the board. This will allow us to do so. So this is an action card. We'll just lay it out on the table. Those were Chad's 3 actions. We'll move to the offspring phase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 1 is a 6. Oh, I rolled something less than a 6. Great, or a 6 or less. So we'll place one of the elephants here. Now let's roll for destruction. Our first one is a 3, 5. So that would be placed here. Let's place it here instead. Second one is a 1, 6. That's totally full. So we can move that down to here. I really need to get rid of some destruction tiles. And the next one is a 4, 6. That's also okay. That's here, but we are really running low. That does mean, though, we get to reveal this final one, and we can place 1 of the total influence on there because no elephants were captured. We have roll 2 dice, add the value of those 2 dice together. If it's a 10 or higher with the influence adding pluses for the amount of influence, Indonesia would say yes. Okay, there's our 6 different ambassadors. Let's see if we can get them to say yes. Now let's draw our impact card. Let's pray for no poachers. We have Circus Reform. 1 player with at least 1 card in hand may discard their entire hand. That player may then search their deck for any card and put it into play. I don't want to do that. Our hands are kind of big, and I'm thinking of doing Japan, which means we want a lot of cards in hand. So I'm going to pass on that. That's okay. We'll then move to the end phase, and we have to draw a card, and Chad gets collect specimens. Just so you can see, we have a total of 8 cards in hand between the 2 of us. We'll now move to Sophia's turn. We will grab her 3 dice, give them a roll. She's got a 5, 1, and a 5. Sophie only has 1 million. Let's go to work to gain 2 more. That puts her to 3 million. I think then Sophia is going to have a protest. She is going to remove one influence, and then we can remove 2 destruction tiles that are adjacent to each other. I don't think there's a chance we're doing Bangladesh, so let's remove that one, and let's remove these 2 destruction tiles. I think then Sophia will do some canvassing. Now she only has $3 million, so she can't use the non-for-profit to place 4, but I still think it's worth it. We're going to spend the 3. Since we spent money, that means Chad gets to draw a card. He will have a signed petition in his hand. I think the 3 influence I'm going to place will be on Australia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I only need 2 of those instant cards in our discard pile. We'll now roll for offsprings. We rolled a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 1 is 6. That's still enough. We're still making babies. Now we will roll for 3 more destruction tiles. We've got a 6, 1. We can't place that there, so we'll place it here. Our second one, we have a 1, 6. We can't place that all the way over there, so I'll place it here. Come on. We've got a 1, 1. Beautiful. We can do that. That means we get to place another influence. I think we need to go Japan for this one. Now we'll draw our impact card, and we have war. To perform any action that removes a deforestation tile with an animal on it, 2 players must each pay 1 million. We'll then go ahead and draw a card, and we have donate. Rounds are moving quick, quick, quick. We're going to move to round 6. We will have Chad pick up his 3 dice, give him a roll. He's got a 5 and 2 2s. And of course, it'd be nice to actually show that. There you go. Well, this certainly is not great, but I do think we're going to start with a protest. We're going to remove 1 influence to be able to remove 2 destruction tiles. I can't have any elephants on them or I have to pay money, which I don't have, but none of the destruction tiles are on elephant spaces. Let's remove these 2. Let's use our number 2 die here to be able to play a card from our hand, and we're going to play the collect specimens. Now we can lose 1 animal, then choose 1 active persistent impact card, and either discard it or put it on top of the impact deck. And I most certainly think I'm going to do that. I'm going to lose 1 elephant, unfortunately, but that's going to allow me to discard poachers. I do not want to deal with poachers. I also totally forgot to remove 1 influence to be able to do that protest, so we removed 1 from Indonesia. We currently have 3 persistent cards. I'm going to take this poacher and I'm going to discard it. That was our action phase, and boy did it go fast. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 1 is 6, so we'll roll a 3 and we will definitely have another baby elephant. Now we'll roll for destruction. We have a 4, 3, so we can place that here in the 4, 4 spot. Our second one, we have a 3, 5, so we can place that one here. Oh my gosh. And our last one is a 6, 2, which we can place here. We're okay, but we are running out of tiles. Actually, I only have 2 left. This could be our downfall. We're going to place that 1 influence, though, for having no captive elephants on to Japan. We'll then draw our impact card, lose all captive animals. We don't have any captive animals. We've kept them free, even if most of the jungle has been deforested. Okay, then we're going to draw our last card, and this is Chad's last card, actually, in his deck. He has Migration Studies, and that's it, actually. Sophia will be next to go in round 6. Let's pick up her 3 dice, give them a roll. She's got 2 1s and a 2. That actually was a pretty great roll. We're going to start by going to work to generate $2 million. Then we're going to come here and we're going to spend 1 of those $2 million so we can remove a destruction tile that is not adjacent to an animal. And of course, since we have just spent money for our turn, I'm going to shuffle up Chad's discard pile. He's going to draw 1 card and he has research. 1 destruction tile is great. We only have 3 left. I almost want 1 of my elephants to get captured. That sounds absolutely terrible, because if I keep rolling 3s every time, well, I'm running out of space anyways. Okay, we've got 1 more action. Sophia needs money, so she's going to go to the social media campaign, just generating $1 million. She now has $2 million. We'll then move to that offspring phase, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're still guaranteed to have a baby no matter what we roll. We'll place that one here. Our only two spots we can place one are here and here, really. This poor mating pair has no place that we can place a baby elephant. Okay, destruction phase. We've got a 3, 3. Well, you know, ask and you shall receive. We've just had one of our elephants captured. We'll then draw our impact card, and we have urbanization. Place a deforestation tile in a space that has at least one wild animal. So we're going to have another one captured. And then to end Sophia's turn, she's going to draw a card, and she has signed petition. Well, I think we're going to have this elephant captured. Not that I love it, but not many other choices that we have. We're now going to move to round 7. We're each going to have a turn in round 7 and a turn in round 8, and then that's it. So Chad's going to roll up for his action phase. He has a 1, a 2, and a 1. I'll take that. In order for us to stay alive, we have to do a protest. We are going to remove 1 influence from Japan because we keep drawing cards and I'm just not using them, which I'm doing that on purpose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 influence still on Japan, but we can now remove 2 destruction tiles. Now, I'd love to do ones that we have elephants on, but we're not going to be able to do that because we'd have to spend money, which I don't have. I mean, Sophia has $2 million, but we need more influence. This is a game of making tough choices. This might seem kind of terrible, but I'm going to collect specimens. I'm going to lose 1 animal. Now, I believe I can lose that animal from a captured site. So we're going to remove 1 of these elephants, and then we're going to choose an active persistent impact, and we're actually going to put it on top of the deck, because I don't want more poachers, and I have an idea. I can place this must back on top of the deck, and then that way I'll draw that for this turn. Our final action will be to move an animal 1 space. We're going to sneak this elephant out of captivity. Love it. Okay, we're going to roll for our offspring. We've got a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're good. We can place an this is the only place we can place an offspring. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to roll for deforestation. We've got a 2, 2. So that's here, so we can place it here. Our second one is a 4, 1. 4, 1, we can place it here. We literally have 1 more deforestation tile. A 4, 6, so we can place that one here. Okay, we can place 1 influence. We'll place that 1 influence on Brazil. I think we might know what our impact card is. Oh, yes, we do. It's not going to do anything immediate, so we don't have to worry about that. Chad will then draw a card, and he gets go to work. I love this. Okay, it is now going to be Sophia's turn. We'll place Sophia's token here. We'll pick up her dice. We'll give him a roll. We've got 3 6s. That is terrible. You know, this could potentially do us in, but I might have an idea. The first thing we're going to do is the protest. We're going to remove 1 again from Japan because the amount of cards we have is insane. Hopefully it's enough, but we're going to remove 2 destruction tiles. Let's remove these 2 so that way these elephants can have a baby. We're then going to use one of our 6s here to play 1 card from our hand. We're going to play the podcast. Each player may reclaim 1 of their dice from an action. Now, I don't believe I can use it during the same turn, but at least I can remove this one on the protest, so that way Chad is going to be able to do that action during his turn. Chad will remove this number 2 die. Not that it really matters. We're then going to have Sophia collect some samples. We're going to lose 1 of our singleton elephants, actually our only 1, but we're going to place that war card, that's a persistent impact, back on top of our deck. We're now into the offspring phase. We roll a 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're still good. Now, we only have 2 destruction tiles, so I really need to place one of these on where an elephant is. I need an elephant to be captured. We have a 6, 2. That's here. Now I can move it up to here and hope I can roll better next time, or I could capture one of these. And I think I've got to be safe. I'm going to capture one of these elephants. The other one is going to be lost. That means I now have 1 less mating pairs, but it also means I don't have to place my final one and be very close to losing. However, we know what our impact is going to be. It's our war card, and we're good to go there. Then we'll simply have Sophia draw a card. She has another non-for-profit. We're now moving to our voting year. We're going to start with Chad. We have to survive. Can we? We have a 4, 3, and a 3. The first thing we're going to do is our protest. We're going to remove 1 influence from Japan. Japan only has 3 left, but we can remove 2 destruction tiles. They, of course, have to be adjacent to each other, so we'll remove these two. Chad's going to help the baby making go along. We're going to use mating habits. Add one animal to an empty space adjacent to a mating pair. Let's put that baby elephant here. In our final action, let's do a social media campaign generating 1 million bucks. So if this doesn't work at the end of this year, I can use that $1 million to potentially help us remove destruction tiles. Let's roll for our offspring, and we rolled a 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 1, which is 6, so we're still okay there. That's the only spot we can place one. Let's roll for destruction. We have a 1, 5, and I'm going to stop there. I'm going to have this elephant captured. I don't love it, but I think that's better than placing out too many destruction tiles. Let's draw our impact card, and we have poachers. That's our first one of those, so we're going to lose 2 wild animals. Our 2 elephants we will lose are these 2. We now have Sophia. After Sophia's turn, fingers crossed we can do this. I need her to generate some money and put down some influence. She's got a 1, 6, and a 1. We're going to place our 1 here for 2 million bucks. That puts us at 4 total million for money. We're then going to use a 6 here, removing another influence from Japan. Japan now only has 2 influence, but we can remove 2 destruction tiles. Let's remove these 2. Then we'll pay our 3 million here, so we can place our final die here, placing 3 total influence. And we're going to put that onto Brazil. And because we paid a cost, that means that Chad can draw yet another card. He has go to work. He has almost his entire deck in his hand. 3 more to Brazil means we don't even have to roll, because we're guaranteed to roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as long as we have all of those. We'll roll for offspring. We have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 1 is 6. We're still good. Let's place 1 here. We'll do our destruction roll. We have 3 of these. A 1, 4, so we can't place it there, so we'll place it here. Our second roll, we have a 5, 6. 5, 6, we can place that one here. And our third one, we have a 6, 4. 6 to 4, let's place that one here, and that means we can place another influence. Let's place that influence on Japan. It's going to come down to this impact card if it's not terrible. We have urbanization, place a deforest tile on a space that has 1 wild animal. I think I have 1 deforestation tile left. And yes, I most certainly do, so we'll place it here, but I think that means we're going to win the game. Let's see. We now have our voting, so now let's see if we can get the 4 that I have influence on to get them to vote yes. Of course, before that, Sophia does get to draw 1 additional card. So let's start with Japan. We need to have a total of 16 here, 15, 14, 13. I need to have 13 cards in hand. I have 7 cards in hand for Sophia, and 8 cards in hand for Chad. That is more than enough. Japan says yes. I need a total of 8 for Australia. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus, I need 1 cards in our discard pile. We have Environmentalist and Podcast. So that's 8. We're good there. Australia says yes. Brazil, doesn't matter what I roll here. I roll a 6, I'm actually good, but I've got all of the influence I need to add to a value of even 1 to get the 6 influence here. Brazil says yes. And last but not least, for India, we need mating pairs of 7, 6, 5, 4. I need 4 mating pairs. I see on the board 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually have 1 extra. You know what that means? We have 4 yeses and we won the game. We saved those elephants. Even if 90% of the board is covered in deforestation, I have none left. I could protest all I want, but we could hardly keep up with those deforestation rolls. Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. Like I said, I lost the first time. I had a plan this time, and I will say this card was insane. Being able to put a persistent impact back on top saved us. If we didn't have that, I would have had more poaching and we would have lost more of these elephants, but we were lucky enough not to have that. Golly, I love this game. I love this game so much. I love the theme. I love the you play cards out and you put out more action spots that more players can go to. I love the ramp up as you're getting close to having those votes and you want to make sure you have the right amount of influence, but not every single one is guaranteed. Yeah, definitely a great game. This is family weight, but you can really enjoy it even if you're playing with gamers. I think you could definitely add a difficulty. Think of that urbanization. If we had played at the harder setting, that would have hit 2 elephant spaces each time. There would have been no chance. I would have had deforestation up the wazoo. So regardless, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you'd like to see another animal type, and I hope to catch you in one of our next playthroughs. I'll see you at the next stop.